drowning in war, poverty, and fear, and in the middle of that darkness, one silent man steps forward with nothing but a cane, a hat, and a walk that makes the entire planet laugh. But what if behind that smile, there was something else? Something the world never saw. Charlie Chaplin, the man everyone adored, lived a life filled with shadows. A life the cameras never captured. A life that governments feared, newspapers twisted, and enemies hunted. He wasn't just a comedian. He was a rebel, a visionary, a man who shook the world without saying a single word. And yet, the same world that laughed with him, would soon turn on him. This is the story of the secrets behind the smile. A story that will change everything you thought you knew about Charlie Chaplin. If you want to hear more amazing stories like this, you can like and subscribe. Picture this: a ship leaving New York Harbor, cameras flashing, reporters screaming, Charlie Chaplin smiling and waving at the crowd, believing he would return home in just a few months. But suddenly, the scene freezes. Because this moment, this simple goodbye, was the last time Chaplin would ever set foot in the United States. What happened next was not an accident. It was a plan, carefully crafted in shadows. A trap that snapped shut when Chaplin was thousands of miles away, unable to fight back. He didn't know it yet, but his life was about to change forever. His fame, his home, even his identity, everything he built over decades, was about to be taken away in one cold, calculated move. This is not just history. This is a mystery, one filled with betrayal, fear, and the price of speaking truth through comedy. Before the fame, before the lights, before the world knew the name, Charlie Chaplin, there was a small boy wandering the cold streets of London. A boy who never knew if he'd eat that day. A boy who learned far too early that life wasn't fair, and laughter was a rare luxury. Charlie watched his father disappear into alcoholism, slowly drowning in a world that refused to save him. His mother, once a bright and talented singer, slowly lost her mind, slipping into a mental illness that dragged her away from her children and into an asylum. And so, Charlie, barely old enough to understand the word survival, was forced into workhouses, sleeping on hard wooden beds, eating whatever scraps he could find. In those moments, he discovered something unusual: laughter. Not as entertainment, but as medicine, a shield, a weapon against despair. Every smile he created later in life had its roots in these shadows. Every joke hid a memory. Every performance carried a pain he never fully healed from. He didn't know it then, but these streets, this hunger, this loneliness, were shaping one of the greatest storytellers the world would ever see. Because only someone who truly knew suffering could understand how powerful joy could be. Lights, applause. A small stage in London becomes the place where Charlie first discovers his magic. He moves, he dances, he improvises, and the crowd laughs. Not polite laughter, real laughter, the kind that reaches the soul. Soon, Hollywood notices him, and suddenly, the boy who used to beg for food is now the highest paid entertainer in the world. With every film, his character, the Tramp, evolves. The funny walk, the innocent smile, the small hat, the oversized shoes. But the world didn't realize something important. The Tramp wasn't a character. He was a reflection of Charlie himself. Poor, hopeful, wandering, searching for belonging. As Chaplin rose, people adored him, but others began to feel threatened. His films weren't just funny anymore. They carried messages. Messages about poverty, injustice, dictators, oppression. Hollywood loved him, but powerful men did not. Chaplin was no longer just an entertainer. He was a voice louder than any speech, and that's when the danger began. It was 1940. The world trembled under the shadow of Adolf Hitler, and at a time when most filmmakers stayed silent, Charlie Chaplin picked up his camera and did the unthinkable. He challenged a dictator. In The Great Dictator, Chaplin mocked Hitler, exposed fascism, and delivered one of the most powerful speeches ever recorded, a speech about humanity, unity, and freedom. People loved it. Dictators hated it, and the US government became suspicious. This wasn't comedy anymore. This was rebellion. Chaplin's art was shaping public opinion. And for certain influential figures, especially J. Edgar Hoover, that was a problem. Hoover began gathering files, spying on Chaplin, tracking his moves. The FBI labeled him dangerous. They questioned his loyalty, twisted his words, and branded him a secret communist. Chaplin didn't know it yet, but he had just declared war on some of the most powerful men in America, and these were men who didn't lose. As Chaplin's fame reached its peak, scandals suddenly exploded around him. Headlines accused him of immorality, betrayal, corruption. A paternity suit appeared, loud, messy, and damaging, even though evidence didn't support it. Newspapers attacked him relentlessly, often with stories designed more to ruin him than to reveal truth. But behind the chaos, something wasn't right. Many of these accusations were fueled by the same people who wanted him silenced. His political views, his influence, his refusal to play by Hollywood's rules, all made him a target. Every day, a new storm hit him. Every day, his image crumbled a little more. Every day, his enemies grew bolder. Yet through all this, Chaplin kept working. He kept smiling. He kept fighting. But the attacks were taking their toll. The same people who once worshipped him were now questioning him. Hollywood, once his home, was slowly turning into a battlefield, and the war was only beginning. September 1952. Chaplin boards a ship to Europe for a film premiere. He waves, smiles, and believes he'll return to America soon. But days later, a message reaches him. Your re-entry to the United States has been revoked. Just like that, without warning, without trial, without even a phone call. America shuts its doors on him. His home, his studio, his career, his entire life's work gone. The decision wasn't random, it was engineered. Hoover finally had what he wanted. Chaplin was branded un-American, and the exile was permanent. Chaplin felt betrayed. He had given America laughter, hope, love, and yet the country he helped entertain for decades discarded him like a stranger. He never returned again. Not once. Not even to pack his own belongings. In Switzerland, far from Hollywood's lights, Chaplin lived a quieter life. Snow-covered mountains replaced studio backlots. Instead of applause, he heard only silence. But silence didn't mean defeat. Chaplin started writing again. Stories, scripts, ideas. He wasn't creating for Hollywood anymore. He was creating for himself. For the child inside him who once found joy in simple movement and silent comedy. Years passed, until one day, the Academy invited him back to America for an honorary award. This time, the applause lasted over 12 minutes, the longest in Oscar history. The world had forgotten the scandals, and remembered the genius. Even after his death, mystery continued. His coffin was stolen. His body disappeared for months. It was as if the universe refused to let his story end quietly. But maybe that's how it was meant to be. Charlie Chaplin was never ordinary. Not in life. Not in death. Charlie Chaplin didn't need dialogue to move the world. He didn't need special effects, politics, or power. All he needed was truth. Simple, honest truth expressed through a silent character with a big heart and worn-out shoes. He lived through poverty, betrayal, exile, and endless attacks, yet he never let bitterness consume him. Instead, he chose hope. He chose laughter. He chose the belief that humanity, despite its flaws, could still be kind. And that's why his legacy lives on. Not because he was famous, but because he was real. Chaplin once said, "To truly laugh, you must be able to take your pain and play with it." He did exactly that, turning his deepest wounds into the world's greatest gift. His films may be silent, but his message will echo forever. I work so hard for you all, yet many don't like or share my content. Please like, share, and subscribe so this video reaches everyone.